Carey Price. Yamo. Oh, a lot of people's coming. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to another early edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. This is your hockey coach, guru, Coach Frenchy, back in the booth for another great show today on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. This is the first day of the June when we get the Memorial Day weekend holidays. And USA, it's smelling the summer. We get the summer now, knock the door. Hopefully, wherever you are, which country you are, in Canada, Finland, Sweden, all over the world, hopefully your summer is already on and ready to rock and roll the next 3 months. And hopefully you're going to have a great, great summer for everybody. We have a lot of people right now in the house. We have Mr. Carey Price, maybe the best players we got last night. Carey Price, welcome aboard. We have also Yamo from Finland. Welcome aboard. We have also directly from Sweden, Stefan Manberg. We missed you last night, Steph. We don't know yet why you missed the game number 7 between Montreal Canadiens, but, you know, we're glad to having you this morning. And we have to go right there, South Florida, around Coral Spring and Parkland area, Mr. Michael Rosenblatt. And talking about people around the house, around everywhere, we have to welcome, of course, the only one, the one we're missing right now, but he's coming directly from Austin, Texas. So welcome, Mr. Michael Devellano.
Lots of enthusiasm today, Coach.
Of course, after game number 7, what can you ask more?
It was pretty epic.
I know, right? I tried to catch up with everybody else. So first of all, Michael, your fans missing you a lot because Michael Rosenblatt looking for you this morning.
I'm here.
Here we go. People think, where is that? Yamo, Finland win even does not matter because USA win Italy. So Finland play this morning in the championship, World Championship, Michael. And Lundell, I believe he scored, or Lundell have an assist. He did a very great play. I don't know, maybe Yamo is going to talk about this. For the Canada, could be out, Michael, if Germany and Latvia won to the overtime. We're going to pay anything about that. Of course, Stefan, we missed you last night. I just tried to go with something, Michael, with that before we talk about some things. Yes, the betting odds for a draw are low. It's a beautiful 22 Celsius right now in Sweden, 71 Fahrenheit. Thanks for the transformation. The Toronto Maple Leaf, a choke. That's what Michael said. It's 20 Celsius in Finland. We are doing that weather right now, Michael. And, of course, we have to welcome Mr. John R. It was not Montreal game to win, but Toronto game to lose, and that they did. Yep, I agree with you, John, about that one there. Mr. Steph, he was sleepy last night, missed number 7. And Michael Rosenblatt said Linda had a pretty assist, and Yamo confirmed he was an assist. But first of all, Michael, welcome Lisa D. Delay Show. She has a YouTube channel, Michael, about great recipes, amazing recipes. So it's someone we support our channel, but we support her channel also. So Carey Price, want to tell you something, buddy. Is Carey Price said, told you guys, first goal was so important that put so much pressure on Campbell.
It was over.
It's amazing. By the way, Michael, we're going to get Frank Well at 11:30 tonight, talking about their cap, their abs for about 10 minutes. We're going to get him at 11:30. So many things before we talk, Michael. It's getting more and more. The reason why Toronto allowed the healthcare worker to watch the game for free is because they knew the world team will choke. I want a healthcare worker close to me. And, yep, I know it's a very bad, sad day in Toronto this morning, Michael. I was on the TSN at 5:30 this morning, and I think they have the radio show blow up on people watching this show. I watched Steve Tengo's show last night late. It was unbelievable. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, I mean, I think I've always said that there's a collective psychosis in Toronto around hockey, and particularly the Maple Leafs. It goes back to the Harold Ballard days. And I think that there was some relief when Cliff Fletcher era happened, and that was all too short. You know, Cliff Fletcher was not, there was instability there with ownership, with Steve Stavros. And then they went into an era where, you know, they had this tetrahydrid monster with Ken Dryden, and Pat Quinn did a great job. And then again, politics played in and they cut their legs out from under Pat Quinn. So the only, you know, it's like they self-sabotage, and here we are again. It's going to happen again because, you know, all the pundits weigh in, and who cares what they think? You know, what we hope is Brendan Shanahan has a hold on this, and I think that Lou Lamoriello did the right thing for a long time, which was he sheltered the players from the media frenzy that there is, because it's like reality TV there, and it's unfortunate to see. I don't know. I think there's lots of speculation as to why this fell apart. But I don't know. Do you rip it apart? They still have a foundation there. You know, this might be a learning thing. But what blew me away, Pierre, this is what blew me away. Sheldon Keefe did not go into the dressing room and address this team.
You did what?
He did not go in the dressing room to address the team after the game. He goes, well, there wasn't really much to say. What the hell is that? I would go in and talk to my team, Pierre. That is our loss. And he holds a ton of responsibility for that loss. Because the reality is, on paper, he was ahead 3-1, and he made some choices that absolutely impacted the series. It wasn't a luck thing. And if it was luck, that's not your coach. Because the right coach would have prepared. I mean, a better coach, frankly, would have closed that series out. There was no reason not to. Like yes, you have a superstar goal on the other end and you don't have one. But a guy like Barry Trotz or Mike Babcock would have figured that out. He's going to be so close to the thing. He's not going to whiff on that. So I think that to not go in and talk to the team is indicative of part of the problem. The other problem is what I've said all year, which is they want to play a fun style, and that leads to turnovers when the other team's playing tight. You don't have to be great to create turnovers when someone's making 50-50 plays all the time instead of 90-10 in their favor. They make terrible choices with the puck, all the way down to Marner and Galchenyuk, and you know the defensemen make mistakes, and that's what happens. And you're going to lose bodies. You're going to lose a Tavares. You're going to lose Muzzin. Those things happen, but that's the whole point of them having 6 million people in the taxi squad.
Yeah, I'm going to show to you a couple of messages. I feel bad for the Leaf, but Abs played their heart out.
Yeah, Habs played great. They executed really well, and Carey Price is a superstar, and he showed it again.
I think he's right about that one of them. Michael rose up, said he's happy for the Habs, for all the fans. Muzzin been out, hurt them very, very much. What do you think about this statement?
That's not enough to lose the series, Pierre, or even one game.
Yeah.
I mean, look at they have Morgan Riley. They have TJ Brody. They still have Bogosian. They still have Dermott. They still have Hull. Sandin, you can't lay it on him. And frankly, they had Ben Hutton. Why was Ben Hutton not dressed? Ben
Who?
Hutton is an excellent number 5-6 defenseman in the NHL. So you put a high risk, young defenseman Sandin in place of Muzzin, who's a tough, reliable player. Ben Hutton would have been a better fit. Ben Hutton played great last year for Los Angeles. I was like, wait, you guys have Ben Hutton. Why is this guy not in?
But at the end of the day, it's not matter the defensemen. I think they play very well.
They
At the end
played
of the
fine,
day,
but
what you get out of this is two players did not show up. It's Marner and Matthews. Did not play with heart. Did not play with urgency. Did not show the character you need. And Marner right now, Michael, he has 0 goal in the last 18 games in playoff. We have to go all the way in 2019 or 18. Is it Boston 19, right? Boston was 19. He scored 2 goals that second game. The third game of the series against Boston, if you remember, Marner, and he make a big step man there. He blocked 2 shots back to back. It was this great, right? That's the last time he was on the highlights, and then we know that series they lost the last game 5-1 or something like that. So for me, that's turnaround about this. When you have the 2 players every time like that, you know what I mean? You cannot blame Spencer and Kerfoot and Campbell played at the best he can. He gave a bad goal.
Kerfoot looked like he was on a mission.
You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, he gave the bad goal yesterday where you cannot give that part. But again, you have to reflect for what your Marner and your Matthews have to go. Listen, we talk about 41 goals this year.
36 million between 3 guys, and they got 1 goal.
And you know what I mean? You can say Philippe Dano play well, everything like that, right? But at the end of the day, Dano with Michael is not the top 50 best player in the NHL.
Not even close. I mean, you expect
exactly.
A lot more.
So you talk about
you need a lot more for those 2 guys.
And I think that's, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the biggest problem for me this morning about Toronto, about those 2 stars, where they have to showing up, everything like that. Dubas and, Kiev and Dubas and Shannon, you cannot blame them at the end of the day.
Oh, you can.
They changed the philosophy. They did so much to find, where was the problem? They have a problem of the character and learning to win everything like that. So they bring Thornton, they bring Simon, they bring, you know what I mean? But
still, look at the guy on the ice. He made no adjustments that would have helped them. This is an inexperienced coach, and
I don't think so, Michael.
I don't think he made adjustments.
Everybody this morning, they said Shelton Cave is amazing over there. They never blame anybody. They never blame anyone at the top. They blame 1, 2 players, and the players, the collapse of that series, they blame the players versus, Chan the coach and the manager.
They all have responsibility, and definitely Sheldon Keefe is part of it.
Welcome, James Seldra. James is a new member. Welcome, buddy.
I mean, I can't blame Jack Campbell because Jack Campbell's a backup everywhere else he's played. Why is he suddenly a number 1? He's not a number 1.
Well, he did like a number 1 this series, being honest with you. So, but he, he's over, Michael. He overstat Carey Price. He had better stat to Carey Price. That's crazy.
I mean, they're a better team, but I think when it comes down to it, he's not a better goalie. He's not. I like Jack Campbell, but I think that it's unrealistic to think that he's going to be able to outperform Carey Price.
Well, of course, at longevity, we don't know. But my point to you, he showed up. He showed
29.
Yeah, I mean, it's not because of him they lost the series, right? At the end of the day, it's come to that guy over there where Marner and Matthew didn't score.
Wow.
Corey Perry, Michael.
We can
Corey
say that,
Perry.
and I don't disagree with that, but that's not the only reason.
Oh, what other reason you can blame? That you have your
I
best.
just mentioned them.
So again?
I just mentioned them. Like, why would you not? If you see these guys are not producing for 5 games, another coach would have split them up. Another coach would have made a change on that line.
But
He would have sent a message. Like coaches that are top coaches would have like shaken the cage a little bit.
I don't know.
And then they keep going back to the
Nylander
Galchenyuk combination. I would have made. You're in a war.
He tried,
Like
Michael. He sent Nylanders. He bring Nylander the top line of the game 6-7. They tried to shake a couple of things, but you have no John Tavares, right? They have nothing. He tried the best he can. He played two line. He played Marner. At the end of the day, if Marner and Matthews cannot score when they are the best two players, Corey Perry, Michael, have more goals by himself versus Marner.
Well, so did Kotkaniemi.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, again, I think they definitely, I'm not abdicating them of any responsibility, but.
Oh, maybe to split them, I think that, you know what I mean? Like, you should. Yeah, I agree. Joseph said the same thing, like you said. And I said it's not the bad things to do. It's just like sometimes you need to shaking some stuff like that. For me, I don't feel the responsibility. The responsibility of that game is the collapse of Marner and
Here, would you go in after a Game 7 loss and talk to your team?
I don't know why you said that. I don't know what did you hear that?
He said it himself. If you read the article, Sheldon Keefe said he did not go in to talk to the team after the game. There was nothing to be said.
I don't know if it's true or not about that. No,
it's absolutely true. What are you questioning me on?
No, I don't know why he did that. Why he did not talk to the players who did that. I don't know the structure of that one. He did not do that. I think he missed a big opportunity there to go inside the locker room talking with the players.
That's my point.
Whatever they win or lose, it's not matter, right? They're still a human being. They're still players. They want to come back next year to play for you. And you have to be responsible. You know what I mean? And right. I think as a coach like this, or something like that, I would be honest with you, I would show up and tell them, listen, you work hard, you do the best you can. I would take responsibility as a coach. We lost this series. I'm the only one. I have nothing to, you know what I mean? Like you get out with something out at that point with them.
That's exactly my point.
Yep.
Like when I read that, I'm like, this is part of a bigger problem. You go in and you take ownership of the fact that we lost because of me. And that's, that was my responsibility as the coach to set the strategy. We were well ahead and I missed something and we're going to figure out what it is. And yes, players don't perform, but the best coaches, like, look at Barry Trotz. Like, how did they win last night? I don't know.
Well, he makes some adjustment about the game number one to game number two. You know what I mean? It's fun thing like that happening for sure.
He gets a fourth line center in Casey Zizekas gets the game-winning goal.
Yeah. But again, like, for me, I know you blame Keefe. For me, I would not targeting him. I would targeting Matthews and Marner.
I think they all have responsibility, Pierre. I don't know how you can say they don't.
Well, I don't say he don't take responsibility. The collapse of that, it's not Keefe. My collapse of that team for me is Marner and Matthews. I don't. Well, you can blame Keefe, you can blame Spezza, you can blame Thornton and everybody else. By the end of the day, if your best player did not show up, that's very difficult to see that. Welcome, Hattie.
I don't think they know how to show up here.
Sorry?
I don't think they know how to show up. I think those are two guys that are in a system, maybe partially of their own creation, where they've been paid because of their regular seed production, like superstars, in advance, and they have a country club atmosphere. And you look at just how Mike Babcock, who is a hard-edged coach that's in your face telling you what to do and is very, very well prepared, and how they exited him because he said mean words to Marner. And Marner's mommy was complaining about it. That is indicative of a problem in that culture.
But again,
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, it takes time to learn, right? Some players learn to play off.
So who's going to teach them?
But it's like
they don't know.
Steve Yzerman, how long it takes Steve Yzerman to become who he became?
And the way that team had success was, frankly, Slava Fetisov, Brendan Shanahan, and veteran guys that came in and showed the way. And a coach in Scotty Bowman that took absolute control of that situation.
But he took years for Steve Yzerman to become.
Years.
I'm sorry?
And he wasn't even his best. He was never, he wasn't even the same Steve Yzerman. But it took him listening to a guy like Scotty Bowman saying, you have to change your game. And who's saying that
exactly,
to Marner?
Exactly.
And
I
who's
agree
saying
with
that to
you. He
Marners
take
and
him,
Matthews?
people are surround him to
Right.
teaching him to
That's
get
it.
there, right? You get the I don't say it because of them, but you bring Brett Hall and Luc Robitaille, Chelios, and people
And Scotty
been there,
Bowman.
right? I'll be honest with you, maybe many people here, and I apologize, guys, you show up at the chat right now, and we welcome you, everybody, and we did not respond to you
We can
back.
talk-
It's because we talked, me and Michael went up, and we appreciate each one of you. Thank you so much. But Michael, I believe like Corey Perry and Eric Stahl, Michael, after the game number 4, they bring the team together, talk to them, just to, hey, it's not over yet. It's 3-1. We are on the wall. So, they, you know what I mean? Like, they've been there. Stahl won the Stanley Cup. Perry been there before that. And that kind of leadership experience, they did very well for the rest of the series and step up every time.
Right.
That we have a Shea Weber and Carey Price. That's help also. My point to you is like, who can do that right now for Toronto? And also that 4 line where Islander have, you know, Martin and that kind of aggressive physicality. I think Toronto have no physicality at all from
None.
the beginning of the year, this
None.
game versus the last one. It's all about fitness. It's about finesse and skill, the talent, and
Yeah,
nothing
they
to
wanna play
get
track
there at
meet.
the corner, agents and urgency. And that's
They're
what's
not
the
a hard team to play against, Pierre.
Yep.
And Montreal figured that out. Montreal figured out that you could play them hard and they get them off their game.
exactly.
When the guys you're relying on are guys like Simmons, I like Simmons. I love what he does, but he's not the Simmons of 6 years ago. You need young guys like that do the same thing. You need hard edge guys that you hate playing against them. I don't think anybody hates playing against Toronto.
Yeah, another team also, Montreal did very well for me.
Edmondson was a
they
great
got
pickup.
bigger at the defenseman. Edmondson 6'4", Weber is 6'3",
That's-
6'4", Petrie is another 6'2", 6'3" over there, right? Chariot bring physicality, and he's not a small
Absolutely.
kid over there, so that's helped them a lot. I think Bergevin hit right there. Toffoli,
Bingo.
everything did. Now, my big question, I'll be back, and I know people want to talk, and we're getting Mr. Frank well in a few minutes. But another thing I think Toronto, Michael, it is sad, but the trade deadline, did not pay off for them with Foligno and Riley Nash. I think Foligno did not do. I know he was hurt, right? But I think at some point they missed that one over there, right? With Nick
Yeah,
Foligno
that's
and
gonna
also
be a
Riley
very
Ma-
expensive
Riley
rental.
Nash.
And Riley's not, Riley got overpaid at some point. Riley's a good 4th line guy that can win faceoffs. Like he's more of what you want on that bottom 6. But I think this goes back to what they saw last year. They're not a hard team to play against. And
Yep.
they don't have a playoff style, and they didn't adjust to a playoff style. And when in his life was Joe Thornton or Jason Spezza a hard-nosed player to play against? That's never been. They were Marner and Matthews their whole career. I mean, we saw them. I saw Jason Spezza play junior since he's 15. He played in the OHL at 15. And it's like, this guy, he's huge. He was soft. He just wanted to do the things he liked to do. And he was great at them. And that, to me, was his whole career. So now you switch to them, like suddenly those are the guys going to provide hard-nosed leadership? I don't see it. So I don't know. They kind of miscalculated on that. Kudos to Montreal, because you hit it on the head with those 4 defensemen. They're all big. How did Toronto get into scoring areas? They didn't. How many shots were from the outside? A lot. There's not a lot of second opportunities. They were firing the puck from wherever. How many times do you see Morgan Riley skate down the left wing to the dot and shoot the puck from there to try to generate offense, or them try to sneak it in the slot? There's a reason those guys can't score. You have these 4 monsters in there, and they're nasty.
We have a great comments from Yelmo, James, Mattman, bring a lot of good comments about, and just some men bring another great comments over there. talk about, the collaboration of Edmondson, but also what Carey Price said after the game number 4. And he was confident about his team, everything like that. You can see players like experience, they trust and believes whatsoever you are against the wall or adversary challenge. And I think they are right about that. I think there's a great comments for everybody here about that. And we want to thank you. Don't forget, please, to click on the likes. We're going to waiting for Mr. Frank Wells to join us. But again, don't forget to click on the likes. We appreciate each one of you. Of course, talking about Mr. Frank Wells, he show up right now. We're going to put him on the number 2 right there. Give me about 30 seconds, Michael. Not Michael, but Frank. And we're going to bring Frank Wells with you, Michael, talking about the Montreal Canadiens a little bit. And let's move on right there. Welcome, Mr. Frank Wells.
Hey, hi, Coach. Hi, Michael.
How you doing?
How's it going, Frank?
Fine, you guys.
Excellent. Exciting day. Big.
So
big
this time
drama.
we have the right name. So you have the right name, Michael. Now the right name also. Just kidding you a bit, Coach.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yes, no, listen, it was fantastic yesterday. What a great game. They have stick to their game plan. Price for the 3rd time in the series, first star. So he stole 3 games, and it's exactly what I predicted before the series. Price needs to at least steal 2 or 3 games if we have to have a chance, and exactly what happened. So pretty excited with the way the Habs performed yesterday.
Yeah. First of all, welcome aboard, Frank. And secondly, for everybody, most of you knows him a little bit, but we have all your support. We have Carey Price earlier. We got Nat. We got Matt Man around. And Frank has his YouTube channel, creator of the One-Timer Hockey. It's under Frank Well also. It's a French connection. It's a French YouTube channel, but we got a little bit like an affiliation together, talking each other, helping each other to grow our YouTube channel. So that's the reason why you see me at his channel, you see him at her channel, and we invite him talking about the Montreal Canadiens. That's really what he followed the most. So, well, thanks again to be a part of that, But a couple of questions. What do you feel, was it the turnover of the series on that one between Toronto and Montreal?
Okay. Well, it's easy to say, but the last 3 games, the Habs take the lead in each of those games. If the Habs are not, if we look at the first part, the first 4 games, well, the game 2, 3, and 4, every time Leafs take the leads, it's very tough for the Habs to come back because the way they play, they're more defensive team. So it's tough for them to come back in the game. But if they take the lead, it's so more easier for them. So first of all, they take the lead in those games. Also, as soon as Duchamp decide to give ice time to their top 4 defensemen, most of their ice time, I think it was a game changer also. Chariot was outstanding. Edmondson as usual. Weber played pretty good also, pretty well also. And Petrie, not that bad. Maybe not always as it's top as best, but he was okay, right? So I would say that I think it was one of the factor, and for sure Carey Price. Well, what can we say more?
That's awesome. Michael, you want to add something about that?
Yeah, I think those 4 big defensemen they clued in. If they play mean, that Toronto doesn't like it. Toronto wants to, if they make it, and I think I said this before to you, Pierre, which is the uglier Montreal can make this game, Toronto hates it because Toronto wants to feel nice. They want to feel there's flow, and you disrupt that. It's like, oh, pucks aren't landing on sticks, and you could see Marner and Matthews are like looking to this guy. They're looking down. They're frustrated at little stupid things that play should have worked. It's like they're just used to the easy stuff. And you see players like that, and I confront them. So those are two players that needed to have their tree shaken at some point, because they just want to do their fancy stuff and it work out. And I think what changed is Montreal clued into that. Montreal's pounding them, and Montreal made the front of the net impossible to get to. They made it really, really difficult. It's like, you can shoot anywhere else you want. Our goalie's going to deal with it. But if you come in here, you're going to have to deal with these big 4 trees. And I think that was the big change in the series for me. And I think I loved your point before, Pierre. Like, you look at Weber, Sherratt, Edmondson, and who's the other monster out there? Petrie. Even Petrie's a big guy. And he played, overall, he played pretty well. But especially those 3 guys, very tough to play against.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Montreal was like, hey, you know what? You're right. We don't have the talent you have. We're just going to be a pain in the neck. And you could see the flow was disrupted. And if Toronto got out of the first period without a goal, they were panicked. And that happened a couple times. And I think that's what, they figured out. It's like, these guys, if they're not scoring, they can't handle it emotionally.
By the way, James, like you, Guy Lafleur, Frank behind you.
Hey, give me 30 seconds, Coach. Okay, I will just say something very quick about the flower, Guy Lafleur. It was my biggest idole. Comment on dit idole quand on est jeune?
What?
An idole. Comment on dit idole?
Your idol?
It's idol.
My idol, yeah. It was my idol, and when I was young, I gave rookie card of Wayne Gretzky just to have cards of Guy Lafleur. So I didn't know the value at that time. So just to tell you how much I was loving Guy Lafleur, the flower, yeah. But no, you're right. Toronto doesn't like Michael to play, against Montreal defensemen. They were so hard on them. A lot of it was ugly sometimes. And Marner, it's not only this series. No goals in the last 18 games, the playoffs. My God. They will need to have to take big decision, I think. I don't think they can keep that core if they want to have a chance in the future to win a Stanley Cup. They will have to take some decision. I think so.
You can't have $36 million between 3 guys that give you nothing 2 years in a row.
Exactly.
And maybe you say it's just circumstance. Matthews and Marner's can learn, but maybe Marner's never going to be that player. Matthews is a big man. I think that he's a soft personality, like he's very relaxed, and that doesn't always work, right? Playoffs are intense, and the bench has to be dialed in. It's not that you want to stress your players out, but it is stressful. The other guys are going to do everything they can to knock you off your game, and it's nice to score 40 goals, but you could get 0 in the playoffs. If you look at Edmonton goes out 4-0, but at least in 2 games, you had McDavid and Draisaitl were like determined to produce, and they produced big numbers if you go back and look. So they had other problems that made it impossible for them to come back against a very good team. But at least they learned. You could see them making adjustments. We have yet to see that from these 2 guys.
Well, I think Michael. I think still McDavid is not there yet. I think they didn't do well.
They're not.
It's a 2 other star. By the way, 18 players win $10 million plus in the NHL. How many right now, the 18 player is still in the playoff?
Half. None, actually, because I don't think any of them. Yeah, but even look at how many made the playoffs.
Only one.
In Chicago, you have 2. Well, yeah, only 1 Carey Price. Good point. I forgot. He got $10 million. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, because he's out, right? You look in the outside of the playoffs, you got Kopitar and Doughty. You got Kane and Taves.
Carlson.
Those are the original 4. Can't make the playoffs anymore.
Yep. Matt bring a great point where there. I'm sure Frank knows him. They play down and chase, but the Toronto are not big enough against Weber to pick it up and recover the puck. And you know what I mean? Like you speed or you guys like Marner, everything like that. It's a little bit something happening like Suzuki or Caulfield or those guys try to pick up the puck. It's hard when you get the biggest hard, right? So I think that's a great comment about that one over there. Question, could you see Jack Eichel in Toronto, a guy who wants to win? No, I
He's
would
the
see
same
him
as
with
Matthews,
Rangers
I'm
right
telling
now. I would see him maybe with Minnesota. I think Los Angeles is going to make a mistake if they pick him. But I don't see many teams want Jack Eagles. I'll be honest with you. I don't see him nowhere. I think he will stay in Buffalo.
I think he'll move him. I think he comes from the same class of U.S. development players as Austin Matthews. And the U.S. development program is very focused on skills and small area games, but they de-emphasize defensive aspects of the game and they de-emphasize physical play. We see it firsthand as coaches. And it's definitely improved the skill level of players, and it's easy to skim the top 20 17-year-olds in the whole country, make one program for 2 years that plays against older players and say, look what we did. Well, what you did is you skimmed the top 20 players from your country and you let them play together. So yes, they get better, and yes, they look great, because if you did that in Canada, you would have a ridiculous team that would blow that team away. Right? So instead we have 60 teams. So what does this tell me? We have two guys that are exceptionally gifted athletes, exceptionally talented players that don't understand the tough aspects of the sport.
Can you remind me, guys, if can you remind me, guys, if Foligno's still 1 year with the Leafs, or it's only last year?
He's done.
He's done already, eh?
I think he's done, isn't he?
Oh, he's a UFA.
Yeah, he's
UFA.
He's a UFA.
Yeah, I don't see
I don't know if you
Jake
bring him
Gacko could join the Leafs. They already have Matthews, Tavares, so I don't see it. No.
But why would you move him? Is my point.
Yeah.
I think to complete the question to James, like Jack Eichel carry on also at $10 million in the pocket, and they have already 3 of them, and they have a big decision. Toronto have a big decision to see. The 2-1 I believe for me is, okay, what do you do with Zach Hyman and also Frederick Anderson are the 2 biggest UFA. They have
They're
8
not going to bring him back
players.
here.
So again,
Zach Hyman, they need to keep him. I think
they need to keep Zach Hyman.
Oh yeah.
And
I don't say they let it go. I just said those biggest question or what they have to do. Okay, and I think Nick Foligno can bring something there at the right price.
But that's the thing. There has to be the right price. Like he's not even a $5 million player. I mean, I look at him and I'm like, he's injury prone and he can contribute. His brother might be better than him right now, Marcus. But I think for me, I go, John Tavares is 30. He's almost $11 million. And I'm really wondering, do you keep him? Because you have to move one of those 3 contracts, I think.
For sure.
You could move Marner. I don't think you ever move Matthews.
Never. No, impossible. No.
But if you lose Marner, who in the NHL can make 90 points per season?
Well, it's a good point, but I keep thinking he's a young star, and someone's going to jump at him, and you have to pull an Ottawa.
Now, I said my second question, Michael, be Matthews, how upset is going to be if you really... He said, look, I play with someone, give me the puck, and I score 40 goals because Marner contribute 80% of my success. Now you pick him out. Matthews will be so upset if they lose Marner.
They give him Nylander. Not that bad, right? Nylander with another one, I don't know. We'll see.
Nylander's another guy that's really talented but soft, right? So you've got to figure it out. You can't, is that $10 million worth what you just paid him just because he got 90 points? And I don't know the answer.
Michael, who's going to make 90 points? Not Hyman.
It's tough.
What?
No, of course not. But do you need it?
Yeah, no 90 point NHL at $8, $9, $10 million. Marner is the top 15 best player in NHL.
Yeah, but you do not take the playoff. That's the real season, coach. So I don't care. I don't give a damn if he did 130 points in the regular season, but in the playoff, he doesn't perform.
But if you don't make the playoff, it's not working.
But not everybody needs a 90-point player, right?
So they're gonna make the playoff even though Marner's not there. They gotta have a good return on that trade, right?
That's what I'm thinking. That you'll have a great return, and then you'll have. I think the reality is the game is changed in some ways, but not in others. The one way it hasn't changed is it's a team sport. And if you don't have the depth, we saw it in Edmonton, it ain't going to work. And if you're trying to run two guns, it's not going to work, no matter how great they are.
Matt,
so I think if
Matt Men bring another great point. They need a player like Josh Anderson, like a 6'2", 6'3", good forward, speed, everything like that. And that's a little bit what Iman does. But I think that will helping their because they don't have. I think the biggest problem they got right now is their top six second line, whereas Galichuk is there right now. They need a players that spot right there better to Kyle Chinnock on that second line over there for Toronto. I believe that would be.
How many times was Galchenyuk on his butt?
So again,
like you watch him and he's falling down or he's getting bumped off the puck so easy, like and coughing up the puck. So that's you can't have that guy playing there.
I don't think so. He's the top six is another subject, but you know, I understand, and I think Chase Salmon bring a lot of good point. My question, I would bring his question, both of you, and can you answer that question? I will start with Frank. I don't know if he can see this one. Weber, 37 minutes, Sherrod, 35 minutes. They won't be able to keep up much longer. So my question to you, what are you going to do about that?
No, I agreed, but it was an overtime, right?
Keep playing him.
I think the way Duchamp will handle this for the first game, look at yesterday. We already have an overview of what's going to happen because Kulak played about 14 minutes. I think it's 12 or 13 for Gustafsson, maybe 11 minutes for Gustafsson. So I think that Weber will be around 24, 25. Maybe it's a bit too much, but we won't see, I don't think, for the first two games as much as minutes that we saw with the Leaf. You know, the Habs were against the wall, so they didn't have any choice to give theirs. But for the beginning of this series, they will go easy on him, I think.
Frank, Michael?
I got to think they're going to ease back a little bit. But, I mean, Weber ain't complaining. I guarantee you he wants to be out there, whatever you want to put him out there. And he doesn't make mistakes when he's tired. And if he does, he recovers because he's a big man. So he's not like he's perfect, but he definitely – I think they're still going to lean on him. But I can see, like, you can deal in that bottom pair a little bit more. And you'll have a chance. But the question is, can you win? And I'm not sure about that because I think if you look at Winnipeg, they're probably more dangerous than Toronto. I mean, they have more weapons that are all going to be healthy. And that third line is really a problem. So I think they're going to have to play him. What are you saving them for?
But to answer back to that question, I'll be honest with you, it's not a problem, Frank or Chisholm, because if you can keep all the four between 22 minutes to 27 minutes, that's not a problem. If it's not overwhelming Weber, everything like that, and you keep you 5 and 6 between 10 to 13 minutes, you'll be fine about that. That's series, that's playoff, that's normal. Your top four get a little bit more minutes per game, and I think if they cannot play 25 minutes per game, whatever you're 35 or 30 or 28, you have a problem. It just not make sense to me as a professional hockey players. You cannot handle 25 minutes per game at that level. I'll be honest with you, that's not change the play of Shea Weber if he's still there for him.
No, that's what
if you bring Shea Weber at 29, 30, 32 minutes regularly, that would be a problem. But I think the time management, it's not too bad. The only problem look bad is when they play an OT. Now you get 35 minutes, 36 minutes. That's make look bad. Overall, yesterday, again, you see Ben Sherrod 27 minutes. And then you can see other play 25, 24, 23. And then you have to realize also, sometimes the PK, sometimes the PP, and some special team increase or decrease. You have only 6-minute penalty for both teams yesterday. So you did not see it. 6 of them, one was Shea Weber, I believe. So you can see until they get there, I think for me in my book, it's not a problem.
I agree.
Yeah, I
I-
can
that's
handle
what I
if
was-
they can handle. Yeah, yeah.
And then finally, I know it's already 48. My Frank, we keep you a little bit longer, but they need the physicality aspect of Romanov. That's what my man said. My question, both of you: do you believe Romanov should play? And if he play, when do you expect Romanov join the Montreal Canadiens, or if he's not going to play at all?
He might not play.
Go.
Michael,
might-
what do you
No,
think?
you won't play. At least instead, okay, he won't play. The only reason if we see him in that series, if let's say the Habs trails a 0-2 the series, maybe they will switch. Let's say Gustafsson with Romanov. But beside that, I don't see it because no, I don't think so. I understand Mattman points. I know that he can bring some physical in his game, but they will stay conservative. I think the Habs. Sorry.
Michael?
Okay, Frank.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm
And
sorry.
I, too much.
Choked up.
Yeah.
Yelling. Yeah, grippe. Is that what they call it? Grippe.
No, cold. No.
No.
No. I'm vaccinated, so I should be okay.
Oh, good. There you go.
Yeah.
I think he's very low priority at this point, Pierre. I think that the coach's priority is gutting it out and winning the games the way they have to. If Winnipeg gets ahead of this series, unlike Toronto, Montreal ain't coming back. I think that they're much better built for the playoffs. That third line, to me, is a huge difference maker that nobody's going to be able to match up against in the Canadian division, especially Montreal. Like that Lowry line is a pain in the neck. And then you've got these other two scoring lines, and they're not that fancy. Like Ehlers is fancy, but Kyle Connor's a big power forward that can really score. Scheifele's a big man. Blake Wheeler's a big man. Like you go down those wings, they are going to be a difficult team to handle. And they're going to play it patient, and they're going to capitalize on opportunities because that's what we saw against Edmonton. They weren't even pressuring Edmonton. They were just capitalizing on the opportunities that came their way. And that's hard. I think that's going to be very difficult for Montreal to deal with. Montreal can make it messy, and they're probably a lot more comfortable than the Leafs, in my opinion. So I think you've got to rely on the horses you've got, and you don't care about Romanov. Romanov is not part of the equation, in my opinion. They're going to have to put those four big guys out, and if they can get some extra minutes from Gustafsson or another defenseman on that other pair, then they take it. But they're going to have to bring all their guns on the back end because that's the strength.
Unfortunately, I think that the Winnipeg Jets are the worst. If we take the four top teams in the North Division, I think it's the worst fit for the Montreal Canadiens. It's going to be tough against them. It won't be easy.
And that's okay. What you can't do is come prepared for some other type of game because it's going to be mean.
Yeah, I think Yamo bring a good point here. I think Jet would try to hit Gustafsson, but the same for the Habs, go after Morrissey and Pionk. I think for me, Gustafsson is going to disappear after game number 2. They're going to bring Romanov back in the lineup because of that situation over there. I think for me, why it's going to be harder versus Toronto, I believe for me it's one area because Alibok is maybe one of the best goaltender in NHL at any level. It's not about stat, but you compare Alibok in my book like Vasilevsky on my book. And I think that would be the big factors in that series over there. Now, during the year, you talk about Winnipeg have 6-3-0 and Montreal is 3-3-3. The 3 games they lost Montreal in OT and shootout is by 1 goal. So they are not very behind them a lot. One game Montreal destroyed them 7-1, another game Winnipeg beat them 6-1 or something like that also. But again, I think Michael said the third line for me is the size of the forward of Winnipeg is bigger, stronger, and that if they can play like Calgary does with a big forecheck on Montreal, that would be a problem for Montreal. On the flip side, the lack of defense of Winnipeg, Pionk, Morrissey, Stanley, DeMelo, Pullman, I think could be helping Montreal if they play the way down the puck and chasing them and be the first one to pick up the puck. I think that's the only place they can have really where an area where Winnipeg struggle is on the defending side. They are not playing because they don't have the John Carlson. They don't have the Quinn Hughes. They don't have that kind of the one player like Morgan Riley. They don't have those kind of players. The quality team, we know what Maurice does. We know what Pion can bring, but they are not at the top of the top. That's only place where really what Montreal. And then the special team. That will be another factor where they have to step up more because you said, Michael, not many opportunists what they got, and they don't get a lot anyway against Toronto. Winnipeg is not going to give you a lot. So take advantage of that. And Montreal, Frank, have to play in the middle at the front net. If they cannot pay the price there, they will not win against Winnipeg because that's the only way they have to get there. A screen Alibak. You're not going to beat Alibak on the a normal shot, wrist shot like they beat Campbell. Like I've been honest with you, the shot Kokanemi on overtime, I think Alibak. The goal you gave against Gallagher, I think Alibak saved. So
for sure.
For me, that's the factor they are. But again, it's not going to be. It's going to be more close of what we expect. That will be in my book. I think that will be closer what the people thinking at the end of the day. But I could be wrong because I'm wrong many times. But
I don't think
you're absolutely right with Alibak. You know what, guys? An interesting fact. Look at the 8 teams actually still in the playoff. 7 of them have elite goaltending actually. So I think we're gonna see. No, but you know what? I think before
it's a big difference.
I'm starting to change my state of mind because I thought when you look at the past, some big teams won and they didn't have really a good goaltender. But I think now that's what we're seeing. You don't have any choice right now. You have to have good goaltending. So
I never understand that, Frank. I think Detroit started this idea that you don't need great goalies, and I think Carolina has a little in their head, and it always drove me nuts because it cost Detroit probably at least 1 cup, maybe 2. Like you can't go with Manny Legacy and you blow years of like if you go back and look when Manny Legacy played 51 games for Detroit and the lineup of Detroit, and you go, holy cripes, they might have won a cup that year. Why is Manny Legacy and an old Chris Osgood running the show? And I think it's a myth. I mean, they won a cup with Hasek when Osgood was really good, but teams buy into this idea of 2 things. We're in an era of puck possession that came from Detroit, and this idea that you don't need superstar goalies came from Detroit, and they're both wrong. Like, I think you need to play a combination game and you need to have an elite goalie. And we just saw it. I mean, look at the difference in the Edmonton series.
But
again, look what happened to Vegas when I don't say that Leonard is not good. It's very, very good goaltender, but when you decide to put away Fleury, look what happened. So you need to have goaltender at their best. You don't have any choice. Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with you, both of you. It will be interesting. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the prediction of the series, Winnipeg and Montreal. We're not there yet, but because we have to reflect on what happened last night. We talk a lot about Toronto, what is next for them. They have a lot of decisions. And Montreal, we have to give them credit. I think for me, Frank and everybody else, they played yesterday maybe the best hockey since the beginning of January, like the end of January for Montreal.
They were unbelievable yesterday. And you know what? For the first time, I saw the Leafs change their game plan. They weren't on their toes. You know, they were like waiting for an opportunity. They weren't confident. You know, and Canadiens ont profité. So that's what happened yesterday. They changed their game plan, the Leafs. And they shouldn't do that.
Yeah. I agree with you. And, and it's funny, I'm going to reflect that, but did you see the last 24 hours, 48 hours, after game number 6, you can see the fans of Toronto shaky, do not believe anymore. Everything like that. You see those people, right? And the radio show and everything like that. Now they start, and I feel like this reflect the same mindset on the players on game number 7. It's the same way they show up at the game and no confidence anymore, and they're scared to lose. They become scared to lose because they don't understand. And I said this from the beginning. More longer you can hanging with Toronto 0-0, 1-0 behind, and pushing games 5, 6, and 7. It's all advantage Montreal because the scary to lose is getting there. And the fact they gave the first goal of that game was so important. And we know game 7 is important, but the way Montreal, it's not good enough against Toronto. And the way Toronto are the best team in the North Division. They are the best team. They are, in my book, since the beginning, they are lucky Toronto to play in the North Division because the rest of the team are not great. Edmonton is good, but not great. Winnipeg is good, not great. Montreal is good, not great. Calgary is good because if they play against Colorado, Vegas, Minnesota, Boston, Islanders, those teams, Toronto is not going to be look what they look like. So you have an opportunity right now for Toronto, Michael and Frank, to go all the way to round number 3. And that would be like...
Sorry, are you saying Montreal or...
I'm saying again?
You're saying Toronto or...
Toronto. So they have everything to go all the way. So to collapse what they did yesterday, that's the biggest thing for them, for fans, because they believe they have everything. They have the scorer, everything. It's just, unfortunately, they cannot to go all the way. And that's the reason why in Toronto right now, it's at this morning, this is like the biggest thing happening to the fans over there. Like,
yeah,
completely.
And I think as a hockey executive, you go, do we really have all the pieces we needed and do we really address it? Because they knew the problem last year and their answer was get a bunch of graveyards. They still got guys like, what's their third line? If you matched up Kerfoot and Mikheyev and those types of players against Adam Lowry and Mason Appleton, good luck. So you've got to think what'll happen is the NHL, as you know, Pierre, is a copycat league, right? So we're going to see who goes through and we're going to see who wins. And then teams are going to go, let's model after them. Tampa's very difficult to model because they find guys that have offense, but then they got these monster defensemen and they got a great goaltender. So people are going to try to model that. And the closest to that might be Winnipeg. But everyone else, like, how do you get parts like they have?
Again, I think Winnipeg, they are not strong enough, Michael, on defense to hang in with Tampa Bay in the top 5 teams in the NHL. They are not like Colorado. They are still missing 1 or 2 pieces.
I agree, but they're the closest modeled to Tampa.
The fact they have a good goaltender, the top 9 is strong over there. I agree. It's just missing a number 1 defenseman. You push back Morrissey. Now you get Pyong 3-on-4. You get another 3-on-4 there. They have a big size with Morgan Stanley. He's a 21, 22 years old, 6'4", 6'5". And then after that, you have DeMelo. And then after that, you have Pullman. I think we don't give enough credit for Pullman. He just don't play the right share on that one there. And we didn't mention Nathan Beaulieu, where he can better on the number 6. And Jordan Ben, number 6'7" also. So I think they're missing 1 or 2 players to make that piece to win this, to be the top 5 in the league. But again, that's a great point about that one over there.
But then you compare Toronto's mix, and you look at them line by line versus those other teams, and you probably wouldn't feel that comfortable with your matchups beyond maybe the second line. The third line, no way. The fourth line, no way. The D, maybe. The D wasn't bad, but definitely not in goal.
Yep. And again, like Yamo bring that, Mikheyev speed, great Russian players, skill-wise. But when the players show up and once can be very difficult or more physicality, you can see Engvall struggle, Mikheyev struggle. And you talk about the third line right there. They are the third line. The fourth line is Spacer, Thornton, and Simons over there. So he's right about that over there. Yep. And I think that's makes something special.
Yeah. If I may, Coach, Yesterday, I read a great article, and there was a citation from Harvard research. Okay, it's false when we think that it's always 0-0 after each game. It's always start over. There's always a kind of an historical
Like a
the
hangover.
players are affected by the past, and
Of
the
course.
Leafs have the a reputation of choking every series. Okay, so let me tell you something, guys. At the beginning of the game, it was already 1-0 for the Habs because all the pressure, all the negative, like you said, coach, everybody in Toronto thought it was already done. So in their mind, it was always already 1-0 for the Habs. So that's why it was so important, the first goal yesterday. So it's going to be tough to break that. It's like the Red Sox, the same thing in baseball, right? So it's going to be tough for the Leafs, even though we look at their lineup, they're freaking good, the Leafs in the lineup, right? They don't have a lot of, the default, right? So, guys, you have to think about it. They have to do something to break this, and it can take a lot of time.
Now, first of all, Frank, that's great.
Guys,
We mentioned that because my point behind everything is this. I'm sorry, Michael.
I'm sorry, I have to go, guys. But thank you so much, Frank. I really enjoyed spending time with you. Thanks, Coach Frenchy.
Yeah.
No problem, buddy.
Congratulations to all the Montreal fans. Excited to see you guys in the next round.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to you
See you,
tomorrow,
Michael.
Michael. Thanks again.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Frank, I'm
I
going
can give you 5 more minutes for me also, coach.
Yeah,
and
no
I will
problem.
have to leave also.
I'm going to bring you
Yeah.
here. Hold on. Are you still there?
Yeah. Well,
All
not yet, but I'm seeing Michael, but he's just
Yeah.
yeah, right.
All right.
All right.
What I want to mention is this part is it's a game of mindset. It's a game of 90% is mindset, 10% is a skill and talent. And the
Yep.
preparation and the way you talk to your players is so important. It's so important for them. And I think that's what you mentioned earlier, where if you show up the game with no confidence and no belief as a group together, and only adversity or challenge you face to one goal, everything like that, you cannot respond because you cannot controlling your emotion, because now you're going affected by the things go from the outside of you and come in. That's the problem they get.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Coach.
the big things for that,
Yeah.
for me.
Hey. Yeah. It was a pleasure to be with you, coach.
Before you go tomorrow morning, I just want to mention everybody, you have a show tonight, right?
Yeah, I have a show tonight. We're going to talk about Habs series, so the Habs against the Jets. We'll for sure we'll just do a quick review of the last series against the Leaf. But we'll our main focus tonight will be to look at the round two, so the Jets against the Habs. We're gonna see both strength and weaknesses. So at 9 this evening.
Awesome. Frank, it was always a pleasure to having you. Thanks again. We kept you for 10 minutes to 35 minutes.
Oh, it's okay.
Part of the game, right? So I thank you
Yeah,
so
right,
much.
yeah.
And again, for everybody else, don't forget to subscribe to Frank Wall and the One Timer Hockey YouTube channel. Like I said, it's all about French over there, but nothing wrong to learn about French, honestly. And the good thing about that is the passion you have about Montreal Canadiens. That's what it's all about. We're all fans. So thank Frank for your collaboration again this morning. And I really appreciate that, to having you with us. Okay, so have an amazing, great day. And we'll definitely stop by somewhere, somehow tonight. I will listen to you guys. And like I said, thanks again for your collaboration this morning. And I'm going to let Frank go, and I will finish with everybody else after that. So thanks, Frank. Look forward to see you tomorrow.
Hi to everybody in the chat. Thanks, Coach, again. See you
All right, no
guys.
problem. Thanks again.
Bye. Ready.
All right, we're going to finish the show with a couple of news around the league. And I know Frank and I know Yamo talk about this, but I'll just give you a little bit what's going on in the KHL. The Vegas Golden Knights have signed a forward, Mason Primo, to a 3 years ELC, an entry-level contract. He was the ninth 5-round overall pick, 141 in 2019. Of course, you know his father is Wayne. He's a family of the Keith Primo family. Also, Keith, he's his cousin. But I want to mention to you the biggest news. It was the suspension of Ryan Reeves. Got a 2-game suspended about his roughing on the Ryan Graves. This is a big news about an NHL yesterday happening. So I think it was big news about that. I want to mention to you a couple of players signed yesterday quickly. The Detroit signed a Wyatt New Power to a 2 years entry-level contract. We know also, and KHL, the signature of Nigi Nogorov. I've signed a forward, Kenny Augustino, for a 1-year contract. Augustino played most of the time with the Toronto Marlins, and you know already that. And then the ex-Montreal Canadiens, Dale Weiss, signed a 1-year contract in the SHL, the Sweden Hockey League. That's maybe some people knows about that. The Winnipeg Jets signed the undrafted forward Jeff Mallow to a 1-year ELC. Mallow have 14 goals, 6 assists in 34 games. But also I want to mention to you, tomorrow is a big day in NHL. What are you talking about, Coach? Tomorrow, if you don't know what's going on, but I want to mention this, it's the NHL Draft Lottery. We're going to talk about this tomorrow morning. I just want to mention that part. So what's happening with this? So we're going to know who's going to get the first round pick draft in NHL in July 2021. You know what's happening? You see now the probability of the team to win it. You can see the Seattle Kraken, number 3 right now. They have 10% to win that, and Anaheim is 12, and the Buffalo still 16.6. The Detroit Red Wings are 7.6. You can see the rest. I just want to pay attention. Number 11, the Arizona Coyotes cannot win the lottery. They lost the first round pick 2021 after the COVID situation last year. They get penalized because they make some meeting, invite everything like that. So I just want to let you know about that one over there. So that's pretty much happening around the league. And I would just want to thank you, each one of you, to be at the show tonight, but also our co-host, Michael Devellano, and also our collaborator, Frank Well, to join. And each one of you, I know this morning we did not do a lot of chatting with you guys. We apologize. We tried to find the best way to provide you the best show on the live stream in the morning at 11 o'clock. So what's next for you guys? What we do? But tonight we're going to be live again at 7:15. We're going to cover the game between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York and the Tampa Bay Lightnings. This is the only game they have tonight on the show. Tomorrow morning, we're going to talk about the Bracket Challenge, Hockey Initial Live Show. Some of you are inside the bracket. We're going to talk about who is the number 1 right now, who is behind, what's going on with our brackets. We're going to show to you the Bracket Challenge NHL Hockey Initial Live Show. We're going to talk about the Lottery NHL team. We're going to talk the prediction about the Winnipeg Jet and the Montreal Canadiens. And tomorrow night, we do 2 live stream, back-to-back, Montreal, and of course, the Vegas Golden Knight, again, the Colorado Avalanche. If they are going to be back, you get a better team. So that's what we have tomorrow in the program. So thanks, everybody, to be with us today for another great show of the Hockey Initial Live Show. But before we leave, we just want to remind you one more thing. You know what's coming. You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing, great Tuesday. Look forward to see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks, everybody. Thank you all for your participation and to listen to us for one more time. Have a good one, everybody.